it's Lisa with Soulshine, and I'm on month 3 of this deep dive into love. So January we talked about patience, and February we talked about kindness, and March we are digging into envy. And I'm following 1 Corinthians because I feel like it's the best basis of the definition of love that I could find versus like Wikipedia or my own ideas of love. So this is all in efforts to love others as I love myself, or as the scripture says, love your God with all your heart, your mind, your body, and your soul, and then love others as you love yourself, or love your neighbors as you love yourself. So I'm trying to do that better, to be better known as, you know, a person that loves on a grand scale, in a big way, in an authentic way. So I'm in month 3, and so thank you for following along. And so I'm gonna just jump right into envy. I looked it up in the dictionary, and it says a painful awareness of another's possessions or advantages and a desire to have them too. So it's one thing to notice something that someone else has, but also to painfully desire them for yourself. So I broke it down into 2 things. So wanting something, there's nothing wrong with wanting something. In a good way, it can inspire you to add that to your want list, or something you can work towards or investigate or do or have. But then to covet it, kind of like want it but know that you can't have it, and then feel bad about that person because they have it and you don't, it's a whole nother mentality. And I feel like we do this as a collection of people without even thinking about it. I just feel like it's an autopilot type of a way of thinking about other people and things. So we kind of have to, in order for me to love better, and I'm not speaking as an authority here, I'm learning along with you. I have this love is patient, love is kind hanging in my foyer, and I must walk by it 100 times in a day, with taking the dogs out and leaving and going to get groceries and whatever. And it's just a beautiful scripture. I hear it at weddings and funerals, but I want to apply it on a more deeper level, on a more authentic level. And when I hear love does not envy, I think, oh, it's easy, just don't envy. But we envy all the time. We're constantly walking around the world collecting things in our mind of things that we want, and then feeling bad that somebody else has it and you don't. So a neighbor has a pool. I want a pool. Well, I looked into having a pool. It's like having a car, like a whole car payment. Like, I don't want to pay that money, but they do, and that's okay. Like, that's something that they enjoy. I like to travel, so where they would spend money on a pool, I like to travel. So it kind of balances out. So instead of disliking others, I think the critical part here, the not bad part is wanting something, because then you can just like aspire to have it. The bad part, what makes it envy, is the disliking others for it. So instead of looking at something and feeling bad that somebody else has it and feeling bad towards them, maybe instead we just be excited about the fact that they've got something added into their life, some new thing or advantage that they have in their life. You don't know how hard they worked for it, or what they had to sacrifice to get it, or maybe just how important it is to them to have it. Maybe it's not important to you to have it, and that's okay. But just to be excited for them. I've literally been around people that have experienced people in their life that have gotten a new car, say for instance, and they literally have said, did you hear so-and-so got a new car? Must be nice. And immediately my shackles rise up, because I'm like, why can't we all just be happy for that person that got a new car? Like, maybe their car was trashed and broken and disgusting, or maybe they just want to get a car every 3 years. Like, some people I know really do enjoy a new car every 3 years. Me, I enjoy not having a car payment. So that's just me. That's them, that's what they enjoy, that's their wheelhouse of happiness. And my wheelhouse of happiness is no car payment. I'll drive that car until it has no wheels and no brakes. I'm happy with that. So instead of disliking the fact that somebody has something and then, disliking them for it, how about we just be excited for them? And I thought about all of this and how bitter it makes you become. So envy brings comparison. So I know I tried to apply something in my own life. So I had a friend that got a gorgeous new car, and I immediately thought, oh, well, I'd like a new car too. I wonder how hard I'd have to work to get that. So it just started this whole spiral of comparison, like, oh, she works every day and she has a really far drive, and she's not always probably in her kid's life as much as she would like because she has to work so far away and so often. So there's sacrifices for everything. There's hidden things that we're not even aware of. And it spirals into bitter. And no one goes into life saying, man, one day I would love to be a bitter old lady. Nobody strives to be bitter. So why do we allow it into our happy bubble? Like, why do we let it into our DNA? Comparison, and it just leads to bitterness and resentment, and it just rots the bones, is what it says in the Bible. I looked it up before this. Gosh, I don't want my bones to rot. I mean, I don't want to be a walking skeleton who's dry bones and dead and comparing and empty. That's not the person I want to be, which is why I started this whole study. So how does it reflect onto love? This whole study is about love. So how does envy reflect on love? So this is the first of a line of knots, I call them. So love is patient, love is kind. That's the one we hear all the time. Then it starts, love does not envy. So here for the next handful of months is a bunch of knots, things that love is not. And so how does envy reflect on love, and how is it not a reflection of love? So to show love to others and God and yourself, it cannot have any envy. Envy just can't be in it. It can't be a part of it. Instead of looking at somebody with disdain because they have what they have, maybe we need to shift our thinking and be excited for them and grateful and inspired or encouraged. But even that, as I was writing it down, I thought, well, that just kind of leads to selfishness. Like, I see what they have and I want it myself, so I'm gonna be inspired to get it. Oh, that's still not love. That's just adding something to your list of wants. Maybe the answer is just to love. You see something that somebody has and be grateful for it. Thank you that that person has what they need. Thank you that they have a new car. Thank you that they have a swimming pool, or whatever it is that is grating your soul that you must have. I think we overcomplicate it with comparisons. We're constantly like comparing my list of wants versus your list of haves and wants. And I think the comparison is what kills us. I think that's what makes us a spiteful group of human beings. Maybe the answer, instead of complicating it over the wants and the inspiration and the encouragement, is just simply to simplify it, just to love, just to be excited for that person that they have what they have, and not overthink it. Don't let it inspire you or encourage you to have something of similar value in your life. Just love. Hey, Susie got a new car. That is fantastic. Tell me all about it. That's love. That is showing and reflecting love on another human being. Oh, I'm going to a trip to Paris. No way. That is so awesome. Tell me where you're going. That's love. And don't let your brain tick. Oh my gosh, that must be nice. Oh, she must be going into debt. Like, you're overthinking it. Like, just be present, just be here, and just be loved. Maybe the answer is to curb comparison altogether. Ask for what you want, believe you have it, and then continue loving. It's that simple. I don't think we need to overcomplicate it with comparison and long diatribes in your mind about, oh, well, I want that too, so what do I have to do to get it? Like, all these, we just complicate it. Like, just be simple. Just simplify it. It's so much easier. So that's what I have to say about that. So next week, I'm gonna pull out some tool belt exercises on how we can reflect love without envy. And maybe altogether just pluck envy out of our life so that we can love more authentically and better with our family members, with our friends, with my customers, my husband, myself, my God. And then the third week, I'll cover, just like I have in previous months, what does the Bible say about envy and what does it do to families and myself and my relationship with God. So that's where I'm headed with that. So hopefully you grabbed some good nuggets out of this very first episode of Envy in the month of March, my third month of a deep dive into love. Hopefully you are adding to your tool belt and experiencing a different way to love yourself and others and your God. I'm going to send you off now knowing that I'm sending much love, and I hope you have a most marvelous day. Love you much. Mwah, mwah, mwah.